Hi everyone! The British people are the most mysterious people in the world, and maybe that's why there are so many stereotypes about them. For example, that British people are never late, or that they usually split the bill half and half. To know if it's all the truth, we decided to ask the person who was born here, and today we'll speak with our colleague and friend James to know all the truth about British stereotypes. Hi James, today we are going to speak about British stereotypes, and it's a pleasure meeting you, and I'm so happy that you are going to share with us your own experience. So, the first question, so I will bring it up the questions and you will answer.
Sure.
The first and main British stereotype that everyone must have a small talk. I would like to know from your side, how do you see it? Is it like really a must for friends and people you don't know, for everyone, or just working with friends, and how it's working?
Yeah, I think small talk's a pretty normal part of being British. You start a conversation of how's it going, what have you been up to, that sort of thing. In London, people probably don't small talk as much to people they don't know, like if someone in a shop or something. But if you go to the smaller towns of England out in the countryside, people will small talk to you in the street, in the shop, all the time.
Do people expect that people you are asking the small talk will really share their, how are you, what is the right answer for this question?
People don't expect too much back. No, you expect it to be, I'm okay, or yeah, good, thanks. It's rare it turns into a big conversation.
Is it true that I will never know what British people really think about me?
I think you will, with most. Some British people can be a bit shy and a bit withdrawn maybe, and don't come forward too much with their real opinions. But I think that's more of an old-fashioned thing, like older generations being like that. These days, I think when you get to know someone, you'll know what they think of you, definitely.
So in terms of if British people don't like something, will they taste the truth, like listen, this is not good, or they will do it more polite way and say please pay attention to this? How it's work? If for example you want to say that you don't like or maybe even hate something, how would you say, I don't know, to your colleague, for example?
I'm fairly direct, I think, and I would probably just say it. There's a lot of people. A phrase you use in England is beating around the bushes. So if someone's beating around the bushes, they're not getting to the point. They'll say other things. So they'll try and avoid the main issue, and they'll just discuss other things and not get to what they really want to say. But that's probably, again, another case of older generations are more like that. People my age, younger people, are more likely to sort of just come out with their opinions and be a bit more open, I think.
Is it true that British will be always polite even if it go out from their hands?
I think a lot, especially in a professional situation, if you're dealing with a company or people from work, people are likely to be very polite for a very long time. It's rare they're going to start being rude, but yeah, you never know. In social situations, maybe out and about, and something happens that upsets someone, they might be quite loud and to the point these days.
In terms of the tradition for the 5 o'clock tea, do you really follow it, and how do you know the story of how it came to Britain?
I don't know about 5 o'clock tea. I know, so we have. Everyone drinks cups of tea. That's very popular. Afternoon tea or high tea is a thing, an old tradition where people will have small sandwiches and little cakes with cups of tea in the afternoon. You can do that at nice hotels in London. They do deals for afternoon tea. But the word tea is a good one actually, because in the north of England, people refer to their evening meal as tea, whereas people refer to that in the south of England as dinner. But in the north, when they say dinner, they mean lunch. But in the south, when you say dinner, you mean in the evening, and you say lunch at lunchtime. So tea is a funny English word, definitely.
Interesting. What about you? Do you have some traditions to drink tea on daily basis, or how it works for you and your?
No, I don't think that I can take or leave tea. Sometimes I'll have 1 or 2 cups in the morning. Sometimes I won't have it for a few days. But yeah, some people love tea, drink it all day long.
There is a story that British people are never late. Is it true? And how do you really take if the person late?
This definitely used to be true, and for me it's still true. I always try and be on time, and I get very annoyed when people come late to something I'm meant to be meeting them at. However, a lot of people these days are late, and it's very annoying, especially in London. There's obviously people using the tube, using the bus, using the train, they're often delayed. That makes people late. But yeah, it's definitely like I said before, older generations, people would always be on time. These days you get so many people being late, but it annoys me, but some people do it.
Even for me, that was a surprise because in London, that was my first time in life when I twice already been late, but due to the transport problem, not because I just, I was like, it's 30 minutes to get somewhere. Yeah. I went out from my home like 1 hour and a half and I was late for 10 minutes because of the transport, like unexpected delays or something, and you could do nothing with it.
It's so frustrating, isn't it, when you get something like that? It's not too bad. There's lots of different ways around London these days, so there's usually a way, but yeah, if you really need to be somewhere on time, you should probably leave a bit of extra time and set off a bit earlier.
Is it true that in the restaurant there is a tradition to split the bills half and half in the UK?
That's an interesting one. Some people will do that, yeah, but it kind of depends on the situation. If you're in a big group and some people have brought lots of drink, lots of food, some people haven't had much, you might find the group will split it based on what they've had. So if someone's only had one drink, one meal, and then someone's had 5 drinks and a dessert and a starter and meal, they'll pay how much they owe. But then sometimes if you're lucky, you're going out with someone who's a bit generous and they might buy you the whole meal. So yeah, it varies, I'd say. I don't think it's a tradition particularly to always split the bill equally.
What about the dates? If, for example, the man inviting a woman, usually in like cis countries, men covers this. What is here? What is the tradition?
I think on most dates, certainly early dates, if it's the first or second date, the man would usually offer to pay the bill. But these days you get more and more girls, more women who will offer to buy themselves or split it or want to and don't want that. But yeah, you get different types of people these days.
We all know that British people really like beer. Could you tell a bit more how comes this tradition, and what about you and your friends? Do you really have every time in the fridge a bottle of beer? How it works here?
Yeah, beer is definitely the most popular alcoholic drink. I think it's because of the size of it, because it usually comes in pints in the pub, right? And they're big, and you can take your time on them. So it's probably better value for money. If you buy a bottle of wine or a glass of wine or a small spirit and mixer like a gin and tonic, you'll drink it quicker and then you need to buy more and more. Whereas beer, you can take your time on it. It's not too strong, so you can have quite a few without drinking too much. But yeah, everyone loves beers, especially men in England, I think. I'm from the southwest, Somerset, which is where they invented cider, which is similar to beer, made from apples. So in England as well, but especially in the West Country, you have a lot of people drinking cider and beer, maybe both. There's a lot of different varieties of cider, which is popular these days. But yeah, beer is king, definitely.
So it's interesting, the idea for drinking just beer as a traditional drink is first to save money, second to spend more time with your friends, and third is to stay not being so drunk and just to enjoy the communication and like outgoing this time with your friends.
I think those are all factors in why beer is so popular. Yeah, and there's lots of different varieties of beer as well. There's so many. You go down to some of the pubs in London now, and they'll have local breweries that have done them. The mainstream ones, the lesser known ones, and there might be a choice of like 50 or 100 different types of beer. So it keeps people interested.
In terms of the food, is there something special except like fish and chips are popular here? What are the traditional British food? Could you tell us more?
Probably the main 3 traditional British foods. Yeah, fish and chips is one, good for takeaways in the evening. Sunday roast dinner on a Sunday, so you might have chicken or lamb or pork, but with vegetables, gravy, potato, that sort of thing. And then also a full English breakfast, so we might call it a fry-up, but you get in the cafe in the morning when you'll have sausages, fried eggs, bacon, hash browns, baked beans. Those are like the most probably traditional English meals. Having said that, what Great Britain does really well is it takes food from other parts of the world. So you walk down a high street in England or Scotland and you will see Indian food, Chinese food, Italian food, Mexican food, South American, like so many types of food. And I think England's quite good for, you get the variety of all the cuisines from around the world really, even though our own traditional ones aren't necessarily that popular anymore.
In terms of your favorite dish, what is it?
My favorite food's Mexican. I love a burrito, taco, fajitas, that sort of thing.
So not the British one?
No, but I do like a fry-up. Especially if I've had too many beers the night before, fry-up in the morning. That sorts you out.
Do in Britain they serve Sunday roast only on Sundays, or it's like a tradition, and yeah, how it works?
It's a real tradition that you have it on Sundays. A lot of pubs will only serve it on Sundays, but you can have a roast on other days of the week. Some people do it, but yeah, the majority of people would only have it on a Sunday, and a lot of families will have it every single Sunday without fail, without exception, every week.
What about your family? Do you have Sunday roast like every Sunday, or just from time to time?
My family don't, just occasionally, but my wife's family, I think they grew up always having Sunday roast.
There is a stereotype that British humor is understandable and clear only for British people. Maybe could you make an example of some joke and just to give some bit explanation for us?
I think the British humour can be quite different. Yeah, it can be quite sarcastic, or it can be a bit like not so serious. Like people find it hard to get. We like joking around and messing around, the Brits. I think of a joke. What do you call a policeman when he's in bed?
I don't know.
An undercover cop.
Oh, really?
You get it?
No. To be honest, no.
I'll let you think about that. I can't really explain.
You couldn't.
Bit of wordplay. Do you get it?
There is a stereotype that it is a huge challenge to have a British person to become your friend if you are foreign. How it works now, and what are maybe life hacks how to really become a friend for the British people?
Yeah, I think it's quite easy to become friends with British people, even if you're foreign. I've got lots of friends from different countries around the world. Obviously, one thing can obviously be the language barrier, but the English are lucky that so many other people speak English, right? Whereas people in England don't necessarily know that many other languages. But if the person can speak the language, then British people are usually pretty open and friendly to talking to new people and finding out new things. I would say just don't be shy, don't hold back, start talking to someone, and I'm sure most of them will reciprocate.
There is a stereotype about British people that you are planning for like 10 years ahead. Is it true? And do you have plans for the 5-10 years, what you are going to do in terms of your career, vacation, just everything?
I want to completely debunk that stereotype. Not true. I've never heard of anyone doing that. No.
Interesting. Okay, in terms of in Britain, there are so many people who really enjoy different kind of sports, and football is number one. Could you tell how it works inside UK? What football team preferable by people? Why is it? What is the secret inside it? Why football? Why not snooker, golf, or something else?
Football is the most popular sport in Great Britain, but also in most countries in the world, right? It's so popular. We all love it, the majority of people. The two most popular clubs in the country are Manchester United and Liverpool. They've won the most trophies between them over the years. Arsenal and Chelsea are very popular too. In London, we're lucky. There's a lot of big teams in London. So you've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Fulham. A lot of big teams in London. They're all in the Premier League at the moment. There's a few in the lower leagues that are big clubs as well, with big fan, big supporters. Like you've got Millwall, you've got Charlton as well, it's just so many people care about football. It's good, like you were saying earlier about small talk. Football's great for small talk. If you know your friend supports their team, you can say, "Hey, did you see the match yesterday?" and get talking straight away. People grow up here. Their parents will talk to them about it. They'll see it on TV when they're little, and everyone loves football pretty much.
Do you like watching the football matches in the pub, home, or you prefer to go to the stadium?
I like all three, and I will do all three most months.
What are your criteria to go in for the stadium? For what kind of matches, and how do you choose for yourself?
It's kind of random when you go to the stadium. For me, at least, like if I've got a friend who wants to go to a certain game, I might go. Or I'm a Manchester United fan, but I live in London, so Manchester's quite far away, so I only go maybe once or twice a year if I can get tickets. It can be hard to get tickets to some of the bigger teams, but I'll go see some games in London occasionally. I went to a game at the weekend, saw QPR, one of the teams I didn't mention, another London team. QPR playing Brighton at the weekend, which is fun. If it's a big tournament like the Euros or the World Cup when England are playing, like everyone will get to the pub together and you get a big group of friends and it's really good fun. And you might do that for a few games throughout the rest of the year as well. But if not, just watch at home.
There is also a stereotype that Londoners are completely different from all the other British people who are outside London. Is it true or no? How do you think and why?
Yeah, I think it's very true. Very true.
What is different?
So I'm someone who grew up in a smaller town, but I've lived in London for most of my adult life. And the big difference, I think people in London are used to being in big crowds more. So they're used to just being surrounded by a lot more people, which means they're less likely to talk to someone they don't know because there's just so many people. And if everyone was if you're on a tube and there's lots of people, everyone talking to everyone, be very loud, be a bit crazy, right? Whereas people in the smaller towns are more likely to sort of just talk to anyone, say hello on the street when they're walking past. Londoners walk fast as well. Always trying to get somewhere fast. Londoners get annoyed when you get tourists come in and they're just walking really slowly and people are trying to get to work or get to meet someone. But London is also probably a bit more open-minded and a bit more, like if you do get into a conversation with people in London, they're more worldwide, they've probably travelled more, they might know more people from different countries, different cultures, and they're more open to stuff, whereas in the smaller towns, people are less familiar with other cultures and other ways of living. So yeah, but it's definitely a difference. If you spend a week in a smaller English town compared to in London, it's very, very different.
What would be your advice in terms of adaptation of newcomers here who just came abroad? Your top 5, what would be advice?
My number one advice would be keep exploring. London is so big. I've lived here 12, 13 years now, and I've still not seen everything there is to see. Every month I'll find a new pub, a new restaurant, a new park. There's just so much to see, so much to do. Don't stop. Don't be shy about talking to people if you're in a bar or in a club or out and about. Because the London way is not to necessarily approach strangers straight away, but if you get someone in a conversation, they'll often be happy to talk. What else? Yeah, use the transport system is very effective at getting you to different parts of town very quickly. Like if you can hop on the tube, there's one of the new lines called the Elizabeth line, takes you really quickly right across London, goes to Heathrow Airport. That's really good. So yeah, use that wisely. The parks are lovely. Check out the parks. We've got the Royal Parks. We've got Hyde Park, Green Park, Richmond Park, St James's Park, where there's pelicans in St James's Park, which is pretty cool. Definitely check that out. And yeah, make the most of the pub scene because there are lots of different pub crawls you can do, different routes to see all around London, and that's good for getting the vibe of what the people are really like if you go to the pubs and try some of the many beers that we talked about earlier.
If you advise to go outside London, what is the place number 1 you would advise to visit?
Oh, that's a good question. There's so many different places. If you want another big city, I'd recommend maybe Manchester or Liverpool. They've got good nightlife, lots going on. They're in the north. Newcastle too is a good one. If you want something more like countryside and beaches, Cornwall's good. That's in the far southwest. It takes you quite a long time to get there from London, but it's picturesque beaches. You can go surfing there, that sort of thing. And there's also the Lake District in the north and the Peak District. There's lots of mountains and lakes for really good countryside. So would recommend those as some of the best places, definitely.
You said someone doing surfing here. Oh my God, what is the water temperature? Because 1 month ago, it was 12, 13 degrees the water was, or people just get used to it?
The water around the UK never gets particularly warm, no, but people get a wetsuit on and they'll go surfing in Cornwall. I don't do it, I think they're crazy, but people do it.
Oh, I have one more question. It's not in the scenario, but I was so surprised when I first time came to the UK. So in these countries, if it's 10, 15 degrees, they probably will wear a jacket. But here, specifically kids, I could see in the shorts and t-shirt, and it's 10 degrees, and they're going to school. And their parents, they're wearing 2 jackets, sweater, and slides. It's I'm so surprised. What is with the temperature? Do you get used from the very childhood just to wear, I don't know, summer clothes during the whole year, or how it works? You don't feel that you are cold, or it's just.
I think a lot of children love just being in shorts and t-shirts all year round. Some of my adult friends will happily be wearing shorts and t-shirts well into the start of winter. Usually when it gets to December, January, everyone's in coats and jeans, but. People like wearing shorts in England. I don't know why.
But it's not, for example, if you take your family, it's not like that. So you just.
Some people are, yeah.
It's just some people.
Yeah.
And you don't know why.
No idea why. I think people just you grow up. You're used to the fact it's not hot here that often. It's been a lot hotter here in the last few summers than it used to be when I was growing up. But yeah.
Hope next summer will be better.
Yeah.
All right, that's all my questions, Jane. Thank you so much for coming. It was an enjoyable discussion, and now I know much more as our also people who are watching us about British stereotypes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Dear friends, if you like our episode, don't forget to put likes and write the comment what was new for you, or you could share with us your own experience in terms of stereotypes about Great Britain. Don't forget to follow us and stay tuned on our channel Operation Relocation. We are preparing a lot of useful and interesting information ahead.